Okay, this is not a Bolin promo, but I want to get something off my chest. Okay? So, Freddie Prinze Jr., Kevin Hart, Ronda Rousey, all these people who were not witnesses to the Gene LaBelle, Steven Seagal, you know, playful moment that they had, on the set of Marked for Death. All of these non-witnesses, these people weren't even there. These celebrities coming out and telling stories that they don't know what they're talking about. They were not even there. They're just repeating what they hear off the internet. Okay? I'm going to make this very clear. Gene LaBelle is not going to beat up Steven Seagal. He's just not. I mean, LaBelle may be a legit badass, but so is Steven Seagal. Seagal would break that old dude in half. I mean, plain and simple. And all his little buddies, the Dirty Dozen, Bob Wall, and all these Benny the Jet Urquidez, all these other Pat Burleson, the other guys, Bill Wallace, who's the other guy? Howard Jackson, rest in peace to him. Blakey Rodriguez, Jim Harrison, all the other dudes that were part of Dirty Dozen would not have beaten Steven Seagal. The reason why he didn't accept their challenge is because he didn't want to get a murder charge. He wouldn't have fought fair. He would have broken their bones, and he probably would end up killing them. Who knows? As far as Jean-Claude Van Damme and Seagal running from him, never happened. I don't believe Stallone was telling the truth. I believe Stallone was just building up the hype. He's another Hollywood actor who likes to over-exaggerate everything. They all do it. All those Hollywood superstars or stars or actors, they like to overhype themselves for their own egos. That's all it is. Sylvester Stallone, Seagal would have never ran from Jean-Claude Van Damme. If Seagal had one of him, he would have broken him in half too. Come on. Van Damme doesn't beat Steven Seagal either. Van Damme is a good kicker, but Seagal would have blocked all his kicks and then took his arm and broke it. Seagal's a brutal, brutal fighter. We've seen his movies. He could do that stuff in real life. He could break you, and he's got his own system called Tenshin Aikido. It's legit. It's very effective. He doesn't play around. He's not gonna let you hit him. He's not gonna let you put your hands on him. He's gonna break your arm. I believe Steven Seagal would have killed all those guys, like including LaBelle. LaBelle may have been legit at one time. Yes, he was a judoka. Yes, he was a bad dude in his prime. But by 1990, the dude was almost like in his 60s. Seagal was young still. Seagal would have easily have killed him. It would have been no contest. LaBelle wouldn't have been able to get a hold of him. Seagal would already had his arm over his shoulder and snapped in it too. I mean, come on, people. Don't believe everything on the internet. Viking Samurai already exposed. He already pretty much debunked those stories. You got guys that were witnesses like Stephen Lambert, Conrad Palmisano, if I pronounce his last name right, were there. They were there. They were witnesses. Seagal never got choked out. Seagal never peed his pants. He never crapped himself. Seagal knew how powerful and how strong he was. He knows that he could have easily hurt LaBelle. Seagal didn't want to do that. Seagal was playing around with the guy. It was just a playful moment. They actually got along. I don't know why LaBelle lied. I think he was jealous because Seagal was getting attention at the time. Seagal was the big man. He was one of the biggest martial arts superstars, and his movies were growing. And LaBelle was never really an actor. He was just a stuntman, and he was a professional wrestler. And he hung with guys like Dick the Bruiser, Ric Flair, the old school guys. He was an old school wrestler. Like, you got guys like that who are just professional wrestlers trying to beat up on a martial artist. Who do you think's going to win that fight? I mean, come on. LaBelle was a martial artist, yes, but he was no match for Steven Seagal. Never was, never will be. Neither of those dudes, those old school killers that Freddie Prinze Jr. was saying, Pat Johnson, none of them guys would have beaten Steven Seagal by 1990. Like, Seagal would have hurt them bad. And as far as Chuck Norris, he would have been the only guy, I think, that would have given Seagal a run for his money. But in the end, Seagal would have tore him up, too. I don't think there's too many guys that could beat Steven Seagal. Not Jet Li. Jackie would give him a good fight. Brandon probably could beat him. Brandon Lee probably could have beaten him. Maybe Dolph Lundgren might have given him a good run. Michael J. White, nah. I mean, he's good. I mean, he's all right, but he's not on the level of Steven Seagal as far as fighting ability. George Foreman was an old dude. Seagal would have snapped his neck. It would have been a boxing match. Seagal would have effed him up too. You know, it's about the only guy that could legit beat up Steven Seagal, like really beat him, would have been Bruce Lee. Hands down, Bruce Lee would have killed Steven Seagal. He would have been the only one. But there might have been a few guys, not many, that could have beat Steven Seagal. But guys like that were nobodies, that were never really actors, but they've been in movies, wouldn't have had no chance against Steven Seagal. But I will upload a Bolin promo later. Okay?